cargo and transport is part of that. We have ports and terminals, and we have a pretty nice port here in Jamaica, but we actually don't control the port. The port is leased out to different people because we didn't have that maritime conscience, and we didn't have the people to really support the port. International trade is another thing that is characterized by maritime powers. Maritime powers have great shipping fleets, and actually this is an example of kind of, our fleet, how our fleet is a little bit, I would say, immature and needs to be expanded a little bit. And people with maritime power have scientific research vessels. We're surrounded by the ocean, and we really don't have a lot of research vessels, even though I know we have a focus on it. The University of West Indies has a great maritime biological unit. Maritime powers have a shipbuilding industry. So building ships have to be a part of a culture that has a maritime conscience, and we don't have a shipbuilding culture here. We are actually about to, hopefully, in the next couple of years, get a dry dock here in Jamaica from a German ship repair company. So hopefully that will help us in our vision to become the logistics hub. Because if we don't have a place for vessels to get repaired, then they're not going to come to Jamaica, they're going to come somewhere else. People with maritime power have seabed exploration, and we do some exploration of our seabed, I would assume, but not enough. And maritime powers definitely have recreational vessels, and I would say that we're okay. We don't have the vessels like some of the other countries have. But we do have a yacht club, and we have people owning boats. So here just another all-in-one slide, all of the maritime interests, that if you have a maritime conscience and it's important to your country, you're going to have these things. You're going to have a merchant marine fleet, you're going to have ports and terminals, you're going to attract international trade, you're going to have a fishing fleet, you're going to have a shipbuilding industry, you're going to have scientific vessels, you're going to be able to do seabed exploration, and you're going to have recreational vehicles. So, how to develop a maritime nation? So, the slide in the upper left is actually a little bit of how we are today. So, we have a small sort of fishing fleet that's very immature. We're in boats rowing. But in order to develop our nation, we need to get to the bottom part. And this country, what they did is they advanced from the boats to a fully functional fishing fleet to more advanced. So we need to see how we're going to take our nation from the boats to the left to the fleets on the lower bottom. So why do you think that Jamaica doesn't have a lot of maritime interests? Does anybody want to take a guess? Why do you think it's not important to us, even though we're an island? You would think that, that it would be pretty important for us to have maritime interests. Does anybody want to take a guess?
Many Jamaicans can't swim.
Many Jamaicans can't swim. How sad. We live on an island and we can't swim. That means we haven't been out in the water, we have not developed a maritime interest or a maritime conscience. And I guess it's because we live on the land again, right? I mean, if we were sea people, creatures or whatever, we'd be in the sea. But we're land-based, so that probably is the reason why. I want you to take a look at this. China has a very interesting story about themselves. Traditionally, China had never been considered a maritime power, right? They didn't have a lot of merchant marine vessels, they didn't have a lot of ports, they didn't have a fishing fleet. But in 2012, the president of China declared that it was their mission and objective to be a maritime power. And that meant that they put in place a strategy to improve its merchant marine fleet, its shipbuilding industry, its fishing industry, its Navy and Coast Guard. So China wants to become a maritime power, and they were in 2012 about the same maturity as we are here, right? They didn't really have an interest in the sea. Now because they're such a big country and they have the resources, obviously they can invest, they can buy the vessels, they can bring the industry to their country. So just a quick definition of what maritime conscience is. It's an awareness of the value of the sea. It's understanding its potential in social, economics, politics, and strategies. It's a national understanding that we depend on the sea to develop the wealth of our nation. It's one of our most strategic assets that we have. And without a maritime conscience, we're never going to pay attention to the sea, right? I mean, we could stay on land. If I stand here at Jamaica College and close my eyes, I would never know that I'm on an island, right? If I can't see the sea when I turn around, you would never know that you're on an island. You could stay completely blinded to the fact that we have this amazing resource. So, what is a country that's 1,022 kilometers of coastline? What are we losing because we are not depending on the sea, we are not paying attention to it? Well, in 2017, the Review of Maritime Transport came up with some numbers. There is 10.7 billion tons of cargo that is carried on the sea by merchant marine vessels. And guess what? Every time that ship goes somewhere, someone gets paid. The owners of the vessels actually get paid to take this cargo around. And we don't own not one merchant marine vessel here in Jamaica. We're missing out on 10.7 billion tons of cargo coming and the potential to develop our nation using that wealth. Here's an example of our maritime transport sector in Jamaica. And at the bottom, you can see that there is a lot of transportation happening on the sea. Look at how many million tons, and we're less than 1% of that. So lots of wealth to be had, and lots of wealth that we're leaving on the table by not paying attention to it. So the maritime transport and the environment. So one of the things that we know is that the sea and ship transportation is a lot more environmentally friendly than cars and trucks, right? It's just a cleaner way to transport products. Look at the CO2 emissions. So the most advanced tankers now, are very, very fuel efficient. They do not emit a lot of CO2. But look at this airplane, because we want things very fast, right? And maybe it's the whole fast culture, we need it today, tomorrow. But an airplane, look at how much CO2 it's emitting. So think about that the next time you maybe want to send something via FedEx. Maybe there's a ship that you could put that on and get that somewhere. The maritime industry, just from a sustainability perspective, look at how the industry's grown over the last couple of years. In 2005, we had 61,000 ships on the sea, and in 2015, over 87,000 ships. So huge industry, massive industry. The cargo has gotten bigger, it's gotten more expensive over that time. So what is a maritime nation? And we want to be a maritime nation, right? That's what we're trying to do here. That's the vision that we're putting up. So it's a nation with an understanding, again, of the sea's economic and strategic importance and significance. And we place a lot of assets, right, to make sure that we can take advantage of this exchange, this potential. Then one thing that's very interesting here is that almost 100% of the goods that we carry, so say we're producing things in our agricultural sector and we got to ship it out, we're exporting it. 100% of our cargo goes on ships that are owned by other countries. We do not, again, own one single ship. So that means that we're not taking any money when we're transporting cargo. We're actually paying out money out of our profits that we're going to make from our products to transport it somewhere. What a shame that we don't even have one vessel. So because we don't have this maritime conscience, because we don't really pay attention to it, we don't know all the benefits we can get from the sea. So we have to start with education, and this is why you are here today. We have to start with an education system that is focused on the sea, and I'm happy to say that the ministry is acknowledging the importance of the sea, the blue ocean, and this is again why you're here today. These two pictures are interesting. The one on the left was taken in Kingston Harbor, a kid doing a flip. The one on the right is somewhere, I think in the Philippines. And it's important to know that if you don't pay attention and the picture on the right becomes the norm, you're going to grow up and not think that there's anything wrong with having an ocean that looks like that. It's just normal commonplace, right? So garbage is also a huge thing for us, and actually I think anytime you see a problem, you have to think opportunity for us. What can we do to address this? The marine garbage is definitely out of control. I know you've heard about, this. You've heard about the large patch of plastic that we have in the ocean, like in the Pacific, that's like the size of Texas or something, where I used to live. Look at this picture. Where do you think these pictures are from?
Jamaica.
Care to guess? The picture on the left is the Royal Jamaica Yacht Club, right? On Palisadas, our next door neighbor. Look at how nasty that is. On the right is our port, right? When you don't have a maritime conscience and you don't know the importance of the sea, you're going to throw stuff in the sea, you're going to pollute it, you're not going to care because you do not understand the economic significance of the sea. We have got to do better than this, Jamaica. Come on, we don't even live like this. This is very, very embarrassing. Not only that, it is dangerous for our health because we have, it's been proven scientifically that pollution of the sea, this plastic that's getting into our ocean, does not biodegrade. It is it's something that we need to really address. Here are some top 10 things that are just thrown away. So we have got to start thinking about the items that we are handling and our lives that we're living. And to see that we can't throw cigarette butts on the floor, these garbage bags, look, they're all over the place. Straws. Thank God, the government is doing a little bit of something and we'll have a ban on importation of single-use plastics. That, again, is an opportunity. I see so much opportunity in problems. And we've got to start getting our people and our population focused on them. How can we stop this? And you know the question and you know the solution. You're sitting out there in the audience. We have got to get our school system involved. We've got to get to these youth. We've got to talk to them about this conscience that we have to develop here. And the education system is a great way, obviously, to drive this maritime conscience, but we really need clarity around what we're trying to do, and we want to have a strategy that we're all involved in this very, very important economic resource. Another important thing, and this is why the seas are important, the internet, right? You can't live without it. We're on our cell phones every 2 minutes, but guess what? The physical connectivity of the internet is driven by cables in the sea. The sea drives the internet. This is how important this resource is. And I just want to close there by saying, I'm really happy that you all are here. I hope this presentation really has shown you why it is important that we develop this conscience. It's for the development of our nation, it's for our future, it's for our people. And so we've got to see this resource that we live around. There's two resources that I talk about a lot that is in our complete and utter control. The first one is the sea. It's what we have, it belongs to us, especially our territorial waters just outside of our coast. The other thing that we have 100% control over is our human resources, our students, our children, our people. And so the work that you're doing in the schools is to place this maritime conscience couldn't be any more important. I want you to look at the work that you're doing every day, that you are the human engineers of our country going forward. You're not just teachers. teachers, you don't just work in a school. A school is a factory, and you're pumping out resources and people. The people are our product. The sea is a resource, and now think about the opportunity that we're going to have when we join these two resources together. The ingenuity of our Jamaican people and our everlasting resource, the sea.